Welcome to Make America Healthy, where our goal is to educate you, empower you, and inspire you to take more control of your own physical and mental health. The topic of today's podcast is your mouth killing you? What a great question, because maybe it is. My name is Beth Shaw. I'm the founder of Yoga Fit Training Systems, the world's largest yoga mind body school, the author of 4 books on health and wellness, all with the word yoga in the title, and the host of this podcast, Make America Healthy. So we're celebrating 2 years of the Make America Healthy podcast. And today on Is Your Mouth Killing You? We have 2 doctors to talk about is it and why, and what can we do about it. We have Dr. William Levine, who is a periodontist for 35 years and an expert in oral inflammation. He's got a long history of gum disease and tooth loss in his practice. And he is all about helping people have a healthy mouth and smile. We are also joined by Dr. Catrice Austen from my hometown, New York City, who's known as the Queen of Smiles. She's an award-winning cosmetic dentist, best-selling author, and international speaker. And she shares her oral care tips as a brand spokesperson and has been on a lot of TV shows. So I'd like to welcome both of our guests and let's talk about is your mouth killing you and what we can do about it. Who would like to just, and maybe you both can educate us on the status of oral health right now in the United States?
Well, yeah, I'll take a quick shot at it. Yeah. Okay. I think interestingly enough, Beth, Catrice and I approached the mouth from very, very different, let's say, therapeutic angles. I'm a bottom-up person. In other words, I deal with infrastructure, the gums, the bone, and the teeth, and making sure that the teeth can stay in your mouth for a long time. And Catrice fills in the other half of that. How do you make your mouth functional in terms of its chewing effect and its smile and its speech and those? So together we represent a very good whole. So when I talk about the idea of is your mouth killing you, I think it's something that you're touching on, that it's actually relatively recent in terms of that understanding. And the answer is at this stage, given the science that we know now, it's an unqualified yes. And it wasn't that way a few years back. We know now that the mouth has a very large area. People don't quite realize it because it's hidden behind the lips. But actually, if you spread out the area of the gums and the interaction of the teeth with the body, it's larger than the palm of your hand. So if you have infection and inflammation of that magnitude influencing your body, you are going to see impact not only in your overall health, but actually making a lot of specific diseases significantly worse. So thank you for inviting us to this discussion, because I think you've hit on a really fascinating and novel topic.
And this is a topic that we have not touched on before after 100 shows of Make America Healthy. So very excited to have you both. Catrice, tell us a little bit about is your mouth killing you, and not just maybe because you don't like your smile and it makes you depressed.
No, I'm so glad that you're finally tackling this, because it's a very, very common problem that people have. 1 in 4 Americans, usually adult Americans, have some form of gum disease. That's very, very prevalent in our communities. If you are diabetic, you are twice as likely to have a problem with your gums, and over the age of 50, tooth loss. And nobody wants that. We want to have our teeth. You asked about the pandemic. After the pandemic, where people were stuck in their houses and not able to go to the dentist unless it was an emergency, we came out of the pandemic with a lot of people stressed out, a lot of teeth being cracked due to grinding and stress. People were not really maintaining their oral care at home, so gum disease. And if you want to know the signs of gum disease, Bleeding gums, number one. If you see pink in the sink, you probably have some form of gingivitis or even advanced gum disease, where Dr. Levine comes into play. We saw cracked teeth, gum disease, and people just didn't maintain their smiles. So now is the time, if you are out there and you're watching this or listening to this, is the time to get back on your oral care, because your oral health is indeed connected to your total health. And we're in the month of February right now, where it's Heart Health Month, and we know that there's a connection between your oral health and your heart health.
Wonderful. So there's so much to unpack here. I'm curious as to common causes of gum disease, things like sugar, chewing gum, smoking, processed food. You know, what can we start avoiding to take better care of our teeth, for starters?
Maybe I'll start with that again. And basically, the gum disease basically is a microinfection which starts around the teeth as the bacteria build up. And that causes a natural and normal reaction in your body called reactive inflammation. Just like you would if you had any type of injury or any type of infection, the body gears up and prepares to tackle it. But what happens in gum disease, really to make a very long story short, the constant bacterial infection keeps that, let's say, that defense mechanism running at a very, very high pace. And it's running so fast and trying to keep up that actually it goes into an overdrive and it becomes dysfunctional. And at that point, we refer to it as chronic inflammation or disinflammation. So the thing is that what happens in that case is the body's immune or protective system actually goes down into the gums, destroys the bone and the ligaments that attach the teeth to the bone. And what happens then is your own protective system is actually working against you as part of the disease. So then the question is, as you asked, what are the things that are impacting on that from a dietary standpoint? Okay, so things that proliferate those bacteria are going to cause more disease. So things that irritate the gums just because they're acidic, or irritate the gums because they're traumatic, like nuts or hard pieces that will, let's say, may possibly cut the gums, will cause more gum disease. At the same time, though, there's a whole other disease out there which works together with gum disease, unfortunately, and that's caries or cavities. And if you feed the mouth with sugar and it's already laden with bacteria because the body's no longer removing it because the protective mechanism has been abused and is no longer active, then you will get an increase in the amount of holes in your teeth, an increase in the amount of teeth that are broken down, decay, and unsightly, and cause potentially a tremendous amount of pain and discomfort, leading to serious work. You're right, the diet has a big impact, not only as an overall systemic well-being, but also specifically in the mouth in terms of accelerating the disease processes that we already have going.
And point blank, when you see that soft cookie stuff on your teeth, get rid of it. That is the bacteria. And that's why we're brushing every single day, just to get that soft cookie plaque, which is nothing but bacteria, off your teeth. And if you don't, you're going to have gum disease.
So how many times a day are you recommending that people brush their teeth? Can you use, I understand that things like conventional mouthwash kill the microbiome. So can you use things like hydrogen peroxide? Are there natural solutions that people can, apple cider vinegar, people can ingest to help prevent this?
Yeah, you'll commonly hear people asking about peroxide, but you don't want to have it straight. The peroxide that you buy in the store commonly is 3% hydrogen peroxide. It's to be, if you're going to use it, you want to definitely dilute it with water. Peroxide is the same thing that we use in all of our whitening in the office. So it can potentially burn your tissues and turn your tissues white if you're not diluting it. And then I was at the Greater New York Dental Meeting this past November. And one of the things that's been around and in the news articles a lot has been oil pulling. I don't know if you've heard about the coconut.
Yes, I used to do it with coconut oil.
Yeah, so they have this is a new brand that's on Amazon that's really making waves in the dental industry, is starting to finally embrace.
What's the name of that?
It's called Guru Nanda, and it's really refreshing. I've used this for the last couple of months, and you just swish with this. Normally, we were told to swish for 20 minutes. This is literally 5 minutes, 2 to 5 minutes, and you will get a nice cleansing of the oral mouth or the oral cavity. But you could use an antimicrobial or antiseptic mouthwash. We recommend that it's alcohol free, which also dries out the tissues and doesn't help really your gums heal. But so the antiseptic mouthwash, peroxide diluted by 50%, and oil pulling are three remedies. What do you say, Doc?
That all sounds great. Now, I have a question for you, Dr. Clarice, and that is, I know you do a lot of cosmetic dentistry.
Yes.
So when is it a good time for people to consider veneers? And when is it not appropriate? And is there a downside to doing that?
Oh, yes. Great questions. Those are some of my popular questions. You definitely don't want to do any cosmetic dentistry without making sure that your gums and your teeth are healthy. So that's number one. We bring people in, do an exam, x-ray, cleaning, make sure all bacteria is free. And then you may be a candidate for cosmetic dentistry procedures like veneers if you are not happy with the color of your teeth, particularly if you've done teeth whitening and it wasn't successful for you, you may want to upgrade to porcelain veneers. If you have mildly crooked teeth, mild spaces between your teeth are too short, too long, and you don't want to get braces, veneers may be a great alternative for you. And if anyone wants to know what a veneer is, it's like a thin shell of porcelain, very thin, about the thickness of a contact lens. And you can think of it like the Lee press-on nails of dentistry. It's a facing that just goes over the front of your teeth, is permanently locked and bonded to your teeth. A myth is that we have to trim the entire circumference of your teeth and drill it down to a nub. That is not true. This is a very conservative procedure, but it can be costly. It is an alternative to braces. And I just recently released a book called Porcelain Veneers versus Clear Aligners to walk people through that process of making that choice. Because if you want a better smile, a more permanently white and straighter smile, that these are your two choices.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for that. I know that veneers are very popular these
Very
days.
popular.
Yeah. So let's talk about prevention. And will everyone get gum disease or can it be prevented?
Good question. The number of people that suffer from gum disease is incredibly high. About 50% of the adult population in the United States over the age of 35 actually already has significant gum disease. So those numbers tend to grow as the patient age level is measured. So when they're in their 60s and 70s, you're talking about 75 to 80% of the population. And I'm talking about significant periodontal disease, not necessarily superficial inflammation, something that's actually penetrated down and caused some damage to the bone already. So the question is, most people do have gum disease in some form, and how can we control it? We need to get those bacteria out. Like Catrice was saying, we need to be able to do great oral hygiene. We need also to basically make sure that their dental visits are supportive of that dental hygiene program that they're managing at home, so that they're seeing the dentist a certain amount of times per year. It's customized for each patient's need. But one of the things that we did in our office is we actually designed, and I'm going back to one question, a natural mouth rinse, non-alcoholic basis, Catrice was saying, but it does a few different things as opposed to most of the mouth rinses that are out there. Most of the mouth rinses that are out there, we call them swish and kills, simply because you swish them around your mouth, you've killed some bacteria, but you're not really addressing the core driver of the disease, which is slightly below the gums. So we designed the rinse called Periactive, where what happens is it's based on 3 natural materials, Sambucus, Centella, and Echinacea, designed and extracted from the botanical in a specific ratio and specific manner. And what it does is actually, as you rinse with it, it goes into the gums and actually helps the gums rebuild and repair themselves.
Can you repeat?
Periactive, right now it's available online though.
Okay, great. Wonderful.
I would love
And
to
I think the
share
site is
with.
getperiactive.com, but it's unique and it's addressing sort of the questions that you're asking. Well, how can we help save our teeth for a longer period of time than we could in the past? And I think the things that we're talking about are exactly that, helping patients balance their oral hygiene with better products that are more supportive of the body's function.
And from what I'm understanding, this periactive product does not have fluoride in it. Is that correct?
Correct. So we do recommend, I'm actually a believer in fluoride because I've seen it in my patients be very protective. And so I feel that to get, even though I've designed a mouth rinse without it, I do like them to support it with fluoride-based toothpaste.
I try to stay away from fluoride. I like to try to keep my third eye open. But anyway, everybody has a different opinion, and it's great to have different viewpoints here on Make America Healthy.
Can I share a 4-step workout that I recommend that consumers do at home every single day, morning and night?
Yes, please do.
Step number 1, you want to brush every single day, in the morning, at night, for 2 whole minutes. Preferably, my favorite, and you say everybody has their preference, I love electric toothbrushes. They are powerful, spinning at 40,000 brush strokes per minute. Your hand could never do that type of work. So use an electric toothbrush or a soft manual toothbrush every single day. You certainly don't want to go to bed and let those sugars and acids and plaques marinate on your teeth all day. Next, you want to floss. And I know this is where a lot of people lose it. They don't.
I use one of those.
Yes, I love the water flossers. I think they are like the car wash of your smile.
I would like to share something though. I bought the waterpick travel one. 3 times it broke within 3 months. They have a new brand on Amazon. I think it's out of Germany. It's much cheaper than the Waterpik. And so far, so good. It has not broken.
Okay, yeah, it doesn't matter. I'm glad that you shared that because you don't always have to go with the most expensive. You want the most effective. And what you do with this is you literally aim it at the gum line because that's where the plaque usually builds up at the gum line, and you rinse. You fill it up with water and you close your mouth and then let it go along the edges and clean that bacteria out. Or I really love the flossers on a stick. This is like really easy. With the traditional string floss, you get tangled up and you're not always able to do it like you want to as easily. We talked about mouth rinsing, and then the other place where bacteria hides is the tongue. So you definitely want to clean your tongue with a tongue scraper. Brushing is cute, but it doesn't effectively remove it as the tongue cleaner. So stick your tongue out and pull and clean the whole surface. You're going to see like a brown or yellow or white film of bacteria coming off of your tongue. It's disgusting, but we got to do it. And you will find that you'll have much fresher breath. So those are the areas that you want to clean in addition to mouth rinsing, which gives you a full mouth clean.
Tongue scraping is an Ayurvedic practice. I've been doing it since 2001. We have an Ayurvedic program at Yoga Fit where we teach basic things like tongue scraping.
It's so good.
They've been doing it in India since the beginning of time. So good. So we have some solutions. We have a fitness program for our teeth. Any final words of wisdom for our listeners who would like to experience better oral care?
Twice a day.
Yeah.
Whether it's the 4-step exercise of Catrice or whether it's whatever works for you, as long as it's effective, twice a day, every day.
And for those of you guys who are out there and you're struggling to get in a routine, because this is something, if it's a new habit for you to brush twice a day and you need a little help, I have a 7-day Healthy Smile Workout Challenge at vipsmiles.com/challenge that will help you. Every single day I'll be in your inbox to help guide you on the proper way to brush, floss, rinse your mouth, and clean your tongue so that you can have a healthier smile. But it's all about building healthy habits that will get you to have your smile and your teeth for a lifetime, because you can have your teeth for a lifetime if you take care of it properly.
Great. Thank you so much for being on Make America Healthy and talking about Is Your Mouth Killing You? Please tell our listeners where they can find you both.
I think the best way to reach out for the Periactive is getperiactive.com. It's available in the US. My practice actually is in Jerusalem, Israel. So it might be a little difficult to reach me, but it's called the JerusalemPerioCenter.com.
Wonderful.
And I am at vipsmiles.com. You can find me on every social media platform at Dr. Catrice Austen.
Wonderful. I'd like to thank you both so much for being on the show and thank our title sponsors for Make America Healthy, Yoga Fit Training Systems Worldwide, the leader in yoga, mind, body, fitness education. Operating internationally with over 250 different educational programs for beginners, for advanced enthusiasts, for teachers. We have online trainings, conferences, continuity groups for weight loss and weight management, and so much more. You can save 15% at checkout by using the code MAH24 at YogaFit. We'd also like to thank our sponsor, Life Boost Coffee, making clean, organic, mold-free coffee. Check out the new mindfulness blend that I created for them, and it is a half-calf dark roast blend. Again, mold-free, pesticide-free, shade-grown, and great healthy coffee, lifeboostcoffee.com. We'd also like to thank our sponsor, Erconia Lasers, making high-level red light lasers to help you deal with pain, inflammation, scar tissue. They even have a program on there for gingivitis for animals. So whether you're a vet tech or just a person that wants to take better care of their health with lasers, check out Erconia Lasers. And if you enjoyed this show and you know somebody with a dirty mouth, please share it. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Keep smiling, everyone. Namaste.